Hi Hustlers, I wanted to jump on here today and I've been getting a lot of questions about how to find clients, how to start, and just kind of, like where you can start building your skill set. So I teach a lot of that within the certification program, but I really wanted to jump on here and just like kind of give you guys some tidbits of what I see works for a lot of my clients and a lot of my students. So one thing, and this is primarily, obviously, we have a lot of virtual assistants in here, and then we have a lot of network marketing professionals. So this is definitely geared more at the virtual assistant crowd. However, there might be some things that you could learn either way. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Let's see which screen. Okay, so I am a big fan of UpWork. That is not my screen. Here we go. So there's different, we have Fiverr, you have UpWork, you can find jobs on Indeed and Facebook. I mean, there's so many different platforms to find work. And then you also have your agency work. So I contract virtual assistants and then I can contract them out to clients. So that would be considered like an agency situation where I'm creating the relationship and then you work for me and I'm like the in-between. So UpWork is that in-between between the client and the freelancer who is doing the work, right? I no longer take on clients full-time. I still have some clients that I'm involved with from the very beginning when I first started working online. But I found everyone so far that has been a really good fit through UpWork. So I'm a big fan of it. UpWork does charge 20%. So it's free for the, like when I post jobs on here and I'm hiring people, it's free for me to post a job. The freelancer has to pay 20% of their income. So the more you work, they charge you less. I forget what thresholds it is, but eventually you might be charged 5% with a client. And they're saying they protect you, make sure you get paid. They do all the processing, that side of things I'm not as big of a fan of. But I think finding the work on here and building the relationships is huge. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about something that I teach within the certification program, and it's picking your focus of what you are in a virtual assistant for. So if you're just a virtual assistant, which there's nothing wrong with that, oftentimes it's a little bit more difficult to charge what you're worth because the client can't see right away what the value is going to be that they're paying for you for. And there's ways to get around that, but in the beginning, it's really helpful to start thinking about what you enjoy doing. I teach project management, operations, automation, and like basic bookkeeping for my VAs because I find that those are skills that are extremely beneficial and targeted skills for VAs. It's almost like, and once you become if you merge from being a virtual assistant to an online business manager, those are skills that are very crucial as an OBM. So I kind of want to show you guys here. I no longer have the paid pro version of this. I would say that it is helpful to get that, at least you don't have to have it forever. You're paying $15 for a month of it and it's totally worth it, and I'll show you why. So in here, when you're searching for jobs, they're going to give you a feed of jobs they think are relevant for you, and oftentimes they're actually really good jobs as far as relevance because they read your profile and there's all these analytics going on. But so let's say I want to search for assistant roles. Now, anything in here, I guarantee you it's going to not be paying you. But for the most part, a virtual assistant on UpWork doing kind of data entry, email, management, that type of work, they're going to pay, so they're going to $7 to $15 hourly is what they have budgeted for this job. And for anyone who goes through my program, you shouldn't be accepting less than $20 an hour as a virtual assistant. unless you really have no idea what you're doing. But like if you spend, 20 hours educating yourself, the minimum I want you charging is absolute minimum is $20 an hour. It's kind of cool. So when you do open up a job posting here, Upwork is going to tell you, where they're located, how many jobs they've posted, how many they've actually hired for, because you have to use your connects to apply for a job. So you got to be serious about it. How much they've spent, and their average hourly rate paid. This is helpful because when I see something like this and it says $4 an hour, there's no way I'm going to submit a proposal. My rate on here for the last job I had was $75 an hour. So there's no way that I was going to charge apply for something that had $4 to $5 an hour average. Okay. Now let's see, virtual assistant project management. Okay. So now let's say I take time and I go through a training on how to be a virtual assistant for project management or have, project management experience. Okay, so I'm going to click onto this one. And this one actually is not a good example because they're not showing me. Let's go down here. These searches aren't working as well as they usually do. So it's of course because we're live. So, all right. So project management. Okay. So now as I start kind of figuring out what I want to study and what I want to have a skill set in, I can start looking at the jobs in here. There is something really funky going on. But the idea is that when you start building some of these technical skills, you are going to be able to find jobs that are paying a lot more. And one thing you can do here is, let's say a minimum. I want to make a minimum of $30 an hour. I don't know why you would put a max. Okay. So here, project manager for website and software development, big commerce. So, some of these things you aren't going to be as qualified for. And my rule of thumb is if you are qualified for at least 40% of the job, I want you to apply for it. You do not need to be qualified for 100% of that gig because a lot of it you can teach yourself, you can learn. YouTube is a wonderful platform. And if you ever come across a gig, you're like, I really want to do this. I like the team vibe. I like majority of what the job description is. I don't know how do I prepare for this? Message me, let's get on a call. Let's talk about it. Let's prep for your interview. Okay, one thing I also want to show you guys. So let's say automation. I just hired an automation assistant. So automation is nothing that I teach because here, let's look at this job right here. When we see Salesforce automation, you can become so skilled in Salesforce. Salesforce could be your primary focus. So let's say you are the expert of Salesforce automation, okay? Right here, $90 to $125 an hour. So I create a plan for you, you create your own plan, whatever it is, and you study this for 4 weeks. You focus, and this is, you're gonna master it, and then you start applying for gigs like this. So guys, I want you guys to pick something, and Upwork is a great place to go start looking. Find a software program that Salesforce is a great one. QuickBooks, start studying QuickBooks. There's so many resources on QuickBooks. I teach QuickBooks, but you can get so much free education on QuickBooks. And, right here, $25 to $45 an hour. When you see a range like this, you're not going to submit $25. You're going to submit, at minimum, probably $33 an hour. A cool thing is when you pay for the pro plan, it's going to tell you somewhere down here, I forget, but it's going to tell you the average that they have paid, or the average bid. So you're going to be able to see what other freelancers are bidding on a job. And if they're all bidding super low, then you don't maybe, I'd still, for this one, I'd throw it in because look at their average hourly rate paid, $38. Okay. I can go down here. The last time they hired a QuickBooks online expert, They paid her $40. They paid Monica. And then they had Steven. How much they paid Steven? $35 an hour. Okay, well, I know they're willing to pay $40 an hour, so I'm going to submit a proposal for $40 an hour. And you want to submit quality proposals. You don't need your own website. And I mean, we can talk about that later. But so my point of this whole long rant is picking something and diving into it and becoming really good at it. So, you got your Salesforce, you have QuickBooks, funnels are huge. One of my VAs that I was working with got her up and running doing funnels. And on average, she's making anywhere between, I think it's about $67 to $80 an hour. Okay. So she's made the choice. She doesn't work full time. She could, and she'd make, a lot of money, or she just works 10 hours a week, lives simply, and enjoys not having to work. Right. So this is where you get to start making decisions, taking charge of what you want to do, because there's a lot here, guys. So anyway, I think the focus of this was just saying, like, figure out something to study. I want you guys to become experts in your area. And if you don't know what that is, just go on UpWork and start looking at different jobs that you see. Social media management is a great one. There are a lot of social media managers out there. I will tell you, a lot of them don't know what they're doing. So if you can become really skilled in understanding, like, the psychology behind it, or the analytics, or graphics, or something that really sets you apart, that's a great niche as well. So anyway, that's my thoughts today. So I would love to hear what you guys are passionate about, and what area that you are focusing in on your business. So cheers, and I'll talk to you guys later.